Welcome back to our community. Susie Thomas visiting with Dr. Roger Palutzis. He's from the Carnation Clinic. We're talking all about orthopedics and particularly right now custom implants. We were on knees and knee surgery. You've got a new way, brand new way, to make body parts and help us replace those old worn-out ones. So tell us about this. This is amazing.
Well, I wish I could take all the credit, and it's not for me. It's actually from the engineers that get to that point. I just am the guy that does the end product of putting them in. But where we're at right now, when we're doing a knee replacement, the surgeon is taking certain jigs or blocks to design the knee orientation, if you would, and alignment. And once he or she gets that alignment, he tells one of the nurses to open up a box, 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be, and then that's the knee that we use. And that 4, 5, 6 is the same exact shape for every knee that is done for that particular company. And believe it or not, each company, as you can imagine, has their own design. It would be neat if we had our patient design. And so now, for the last 6 years or so, I've been doing custom patient-specific instruments, which I thought was fascinating. And it is fascinating where they can take, in this case, an MRI of your knee with its deformity and then decide what it should look like at the end product. And then the engineers make custom cutting jigs that at the time of surgery, the surgeon uses, puts them in place, and basically says, cut here, and you'll get a perfect result. But that's where I thought we were going to be, and that's where I thought we were going to end. And lo and behold, we can do that, but not end it there. We can actually have a custom implant, which is the end of the femur, the top of the tibia, and even the plastic that we put in that's patient-specific for each individual. It's absolutely fascinating.
That's incredible. All right, we're talking about 3D printing.
Correct.
These knees out. Now, I've seen this happen. You go on a computer, you design something, and then there's that very thin thread of filament that comes out, and bit by bit by bit, it just kind of forms in 3D whatever you've drawn on the computer. You're talking about drawing a knee, and then it creates a knee.
Correct.
That's amazing.
And if I can do this on the radio waves, I'll do my best. But the technology is fascinating. Think of it like baking a cake. And what happens is exactly what you say. The engineer takes that design on the computer, and then that computer goes into a machine that's going to be the 3D printer. And what it does is it makes a very small layer of powder. And then once that layer gets down there, let's call it a granule layer, a laser beam hits everywhere the laser hits, it solidifies. And then it goes another layer that screens over one more grain of sand, so to speak, and the laser hits it, and that solidifies. And everywhere the laser hits, it solidifies. And it takes hours for it to go from one grain of material all the way to maybe a 2-inch cake, if you would. And then once that cake is made, they literally shake out all the loose stuff that never got hit by a laser, and what's left behind, in this case, is the metal. It's made out of cobalt chrome, and that's your actual implant. And the shape of it is designed. They are able to put holes and slots through that, and once they go through the polishing process, it's actually better material than the way they've casted it in the past. It's stronger. It doesn't have any voids, but they can make it any design shape that they want.
Okay, that's amazing to think that something that's done with a very thin thread of metal in its liquid form? How does
it's
it
in
do
a
that?
powder form.
Okay.
So what they do is they take cobalt chrome, and it basically looks somewhere between flour and sand.
Like sand.
And then it goes on like a screen that just
But it
layers it
stacks.
up. Yes, it layers. It layers one layer on top of the itself, and anywhere it looks like a laser light show when the laser goes and tries to zap that area, and everywhere it does, it solidifies it by superheating it, and it hardens it into the metal form that you would feel. And then that ultimately is how it's made.
To think that that could possibly be stronger than something done in a mold.
Correct.
You're seeing that.
Correct. That's what there's no flaws. There's no voids, as they say, in the metal that way, because it's done layer by layer without any air pockets or anything else that would be a point of structural weakness and that type.
What does this mean as far as inventory then? I would think that would make things awfully simple.
It sure does. I went to the plant in Boston where they make this, and it's a very impressive place. And but this is a small company, Conform, as compared to the big giants in the world of orthopedics. And where one company that I did custom jigs or patient-specific instruments with, they had 2 of these 3D printers. This company has probably 40 at the site that they do, and they go 24/7. And then they have the patented technology to do that from metal. And so literally their inventory is the size of, double-sized closet, and it sits there for a day and gets shipped out so that they don't really have any inventory nightmare like other companies do.
So what are we talking cost-wise? Is this cost-effective or is this really expensive?
It's extremely cost-effective. If there's any nurses out there that work in the OR, a lot of nurses don't like orthopedics because we have 4 or 5 tables of instruments to do a procedure. All of the instruments come in a box. It comes in a box the size of a shirt box. And you lay it out on a small little table, and the nurses love it. It's extremely cost conscious as far as compatible with the current system. And what I basically tell everybody, if your insurance company allows you to have a knee replacement, it's pretty much the same cost as doing the custom conformist knee replacement.
Wow. Dr. Roger Palutzis is a surgeon with the Carnation Clinic and Alliance. So Alliance is on the cutting edge here. Where all can you get this done? I understand that you're just one of the few who are doing it.
Yes, in Ohio I am, and there's select surgeons. I think if you go to Conformist's website, conformist.com, I believe, there's surgeon finders. I'm definitely the only one in the upper half of Ohio that's doing it. And so far, I've had unbelievably successful results. All the patients have had it have gone home the next day. The therapists are calling me saying how the patients are doing much better. It truly feels like their own knee, because we don't have to get into all the technical aspect, but it is shaped and designed exactly like the knee that they had. So all their muscles and ligaments are just happy as can be that it's not stuffing a knee, making it too tight, making it too loose. And so it's as ideal as one can get. And I'm sure this is going to transfer into other aspects of other industries very shortly.
So for as far as rehabilitation, sounds like that speeds that up quite a bit.
Absolutely. I was amazed. I saw the first patient I did, she was 7 days out walking with a cane, and I was like, I saw her in the office. I said, wow, you're doing well. And I said, let me see you walk down the hall. And she goes, with my cane? I said, well, no, put it away. And so she put it against the wall, and she walked, the 30 feet towards me, and you couldn't even tell she had a knee replacement. Just the flow of how she was going, and not just the bending. The bending does very, very well. But so far, all the studies are saying most patients improve motion-wise, but the biggest thing they say is that it feels like my own knee, because during the whole range of motion from full straight to full bend, the knee contour matches perfectly to the way they've been all along, so it doesn't feel like an artificial knee to them.
Wow. What's it like to be you? To have gone through, the series of the history of all of this, to be where we are right now? I
had a lady from Hudson came in Thursday in the office to get a hip replacement. She had one done, and I'd done a cousin and a nephew and somebody. And she went through her situation. She did well with her first one, and all her questions were, why are you in Alliance? Why are you in Alliance? I said, why are you in Hudson? And I said, does it make it better if I put a badge on me that I'm part of the Cleveland Clinic or the Mayo Clinic? And it doesn't matter. I think every person's important, and I enjoy where I'm at. I have a great group of people I work with, great hospital, and I had back surgery, and I had to go to Baltimore with this world-famous surgeon who's the head of Georgetown, but my surgery wasn't at Georgetown, and my surgery wasn't at Hopkins, where my surgery was at a small hospital, and the whole thing is he could control all the variables. And in my situation, I can control the variables. I don't need the glimmer and the credibility that way. It's just nice to make everybody happy, and that's what makes me kind of keep getting up in the morning.
Certainly nice for our community to have you this close by. It's got to be so gratifying. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I was retired as of last year, and I had a back spinal cord injury that nobody could figure out and diagnose, and truly was going to be in a wheelchair by January, February of this year, and had a miracle surgeon fix my back, and
Wow.
And the only reason I came back, because I was already in my mind retired and done, and it's because it is so satisfying taking care of people and just seeing people that are crippled and crying in your office how happy they are, and it really is extremely rewarding. I took it for granted for the longest time that, yeah, that's what we do. But what we can do as surgeons now to change somebody's life, it happened for me, not to be dependent on somebody else, to get back your own vitality. It's really amazing. It's what the good Lord, intended for.
Yeah. Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
That is wonderful.
Thank you.
Is there a place online that people can go see this in action? Because it's fascinating to watch these machines.
Sure. It's. I think if they go to my website, I believe I just put a link to the Conformist technology, and it's be www.carnationclinic.com. I hope it's there. I believe it will be, and it explains a lot more in detail. It's an educational website, shows animation for different kinds of things, 2 different kinds of surgery if people are interested. Just so that they can see what another surgeon is talking about, so they get an idea. But otherwise, I think Conformist.com has a patient portal that they can click on and get some more information.
Probably never thought we'd see the day of this, but any idea of what's next? What's around the bend?
Yeah, I do think. I never thought this. I thought this was Star Trek material. I thought I was going to be dead in my grave. But I think the next step is going to be nanotechnology, where when we put these implants in, we put them in with computer chips, and they will give us feedback as to what's going on in the particular knee in terms of inflammation, possible infection, joint stresses. I don't think that's far. I think that's in the next 5 to 10 years that we're going to do that, because the problem is, as we get better as surgeons and as designers, the patients just want more. So as we make better cars, they want better cars, and there's no stopping. So I think as hopefully the research will continue, our health system won't fall apart, and will still let us do research and keep expanding to improve where we're at.
Dr. Roger Palutis, what's the best way to contact you?
You can call my office at 330-823-1446, or our website will lead you to that, carnationclinic.com.
Thanks so much for all you do in our community.
Great to be here.